What I've read on the internet,
Yeah.
bad products, taking ages to ship the products, what I showed on the website, that product was not there. Sometimes products not reaching only to the customer, you've taken the money.
That's really the fault of the entrepreneur, not doing the QC, not doing the sampling, not checking what the quality is like and then shipping it out.
Customer doesn't know that you're
Now, the good guys make use of it, like myself, who build a real business out of it, offer value to the customer, and then there are no shippers. Whatever I learned on myself, self-learning courses, Google, YouTube, free content, paid content. If you want a business degree, start a business. The amount of stuff I learned in a year of starting my business, I didn't learn in my 4 years of uni. Different products like beauty, kids, gardening products, like you name it, I tested everything under the sun. Everything failed. On my sixth website, it was a kids product, educational kids product, which is what the brand was called Bright Rise. I ended up doing close to 6 crores in sales with that product.
Wow.
That product changed my life.
flipped it for you.
There's no side hustle. If you want a business, go all in. People put in side hustle effort, but expect full business return. I don't care what I think. I don't care what you think or anyone thinks. If the data reads something, I will follow the data. Of course, now after so many years of selling hundreds of products, I like to call this the marketing gut. You could have the best product in the world, but if it's not in someone's eyes, it doesn't mean anything. There's a brand in the US called Liquid Death, okay? It sells water in a can. Beer के can में पानी बेचते हैं. $300 million की कंपनी है वो. क्यों? Marketing. Marketing is a fancy term for testing and pattern recognition. तो ये 2-3 साल शुरू के हैं. This is rocket fuel, man. Those 4 years at 40 or even 30 are not the same at 20. Like, let's be very honest. Yes, you'll miss that party. You'll miss that Circo Loco event in Mumbai or some artist or some festival in Goa. But in life, you'll win.
E-commerce today is no longer just an alternative to traditional business. It's the fastest moving wealth creation engine of this decade. From dropshipping to full-scale E2C brands, the barrier to entry has collapsed, while the competition has exploded. Anyone with a laptop can launch a store, but very few actually understand what separates the noise from real scalable business: data positioning, speed of execution, and the ability to sell outcomes, not products. And then there's him, Ishan, someone who didn't come from a gifted background or a perfectly planned path, but built his way up through experimentation, failure, and sharp pattern recognition. He has gone on to build and scale e-com business across multiple geographies. What makes his story stand out is not just the numbers, but the mindset, turning being a jack of all trades into an advantage, relying heavily on data over guesswork, and constantly adapting to how consumers actually behave rather than how textbooks say they should. Ishan, welcome to Beyond Titles. Thank you so much for being here.
Yeah,
Look forward to the conversation.
Thanks for having me.
You're one of the few people I've seen talking very successfully about drop shipping and e-commerce, right? I think so. Before we go, I want to understand what is drop shipping, because there are various theses of different people. What is exactly drop shipping?
So in simple terms, dropshipping is actually it is a business model, but it's a way of fulfillment. It's as simple as you basically reach out to a supplier who holds your product. You don't hold inventory yourself, and you get the order from the customer on your website essentially. And then you ask your supplier to ship the product directly to your customer. So you don't hold any inventory, so no risk on your end. Versus in a traditional model, you would have to hold inventory, you would have to pay up front for that inventory. And in dropshipping, it's like the name suggests, the supplier just ships it, and you don't have any role in that. You just take your, let's say you sell something for $100, you keep your margin, and then you pay your supplier, and that's about it.
So you're a middleman, basically.
Yes, essentially.
But why such a huge failure rate? Or I would say negativity about drop shipping.
So I think failure rate in terms of what, like people testing products, or
People, so this is more, I would say, from what I've read on the internet,
Yeah.
bad products, taking ages to ship the products.
Yeah.
What I showed on the website, that product was not there. Sometimes products not reaching only to the customer, you've taken the money.
Yeah.
Right. Various things, right? And I'm assuming most of these products will be shipped directly from China, or I don't know, maybe from
Yeah,
India
yeah,
as
yeah.
well. So what I've read, now this is just basis what I've read, is that there's a huge failure rate or drop shipping has never been successful.
Okay, so the parts of this which are true. Firstly, let's break it down. You only ship from China if you are shipping internationally. So let's say if you were doing, for our Indian viewers over here, if you're shipping in India, you don't ship from China. You have a warehouse over here and you have suppliers over here who ship directly to your customer from a warehouse in Gujarat or Delhi.
Hmm.
So that shipping time is like 2 to 4 days, which is basically like any normal e-com brand. Of course, don't expect Amazon Prime shipping, which is a day, which is fine. When it comes to China and the US, yes, the time is a little higher. It could be anywhere from 10 to 14 days. But if you work with the right suppliers, you will get faster shipping all the way up to a week. And customers are fine with it. Now, talking about product quality, I've been to China, I've stayed there for 2 months. Let's say there's a certain product A, right? You would get 10 quality samples of the same product. So you could get that product for $2 all the way up to 20. Now, it's your prerogative and your choice. Which one do you want to choose? I could be selling the same product for $2 sourcing price, and you could be selling the $10 version. The only difference is that your product is a better quality and mine isn't. So I think that's really the fault of the entrepreneur not doing the QC, not doing the sampling, not checking what the quality is like, and then shipping it out. And therefore, there is this tainted image per se. But the guys who are doing well, like for example, there's a brand called BlendJet. Okay, it's that juicer which is essentially
yeah.
notable. You must have seen it.
Yeah, the small ones.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now that's a $200 million brand. Now,
Wow.
why is that a $200 million brand? Because he sells it for $100 because he sources that same product for maybe $20. You could get the same product for like $5. But he's like, no, I don't want to sell the cheap version. I want to go for the premium quality, branded, and next thing you know, it's a $200 million brand. So it's really about what path you take. And that's the founders or the entrepreneur's choice.
Customer doesn't know that you're drop shipping.
Well, there isn't any way to find out. Yeah. Unless you are a really bad dropshipper. Yeah, I don't think the customer knows that you're dropshipping. Per se, again, like I said, as long as you are dropshipping or self-shipping or any sort of shipping, if the customer experience is good, which is shorter shipping times, good product quality, great packaging, and whatever you showed in the website is being sent out, then I don't think it's even a problem because end of the day, it's what you get. How it got to you is not really relevant, right? Like I could be okay. Let me say this: I know a lot of brands who are self shipping, got great packaging, but the product is shit. So what about that? You know what I mean? Are we trying to say that every brand is great? So I feel like yes, there are drop shippers who don't do a good job. I can maybe even talk about some people who out and out scam people. Like their objective is to scam you.
Acha, they come with the mindset only
Exactly.
to.
So they are called no shippers.
Acha, they got no shippers.
No
okay.
shipper is the person who does not ship only, who takes the order, takes the money, but doesn't end up shipping. But I think in any industry, there are always bad actors, right? I feel like why there are more bad actors maybe is because the barrier to entry in this, okay, think of cryptocurrency, for example. The good part is that it's a digital currency which needs no middleman, no bank. But now people are using it to sell so many weapons online, right? So there's always a bad side and a good side to a low barrier to entry situation. So even in dropshipping, low barrier to entry, right? Less capital, nothing needed, no office, nothing. Now, the good guys make use of it, like myself, who build a real business out of it, offer value to the customer, and then there are no shippers. So, whenever the barrier to entry is low, or if it's very accessible, you have bad actors and good actors, and I think that's the classic case in dropshipping.
And you started actually from hotel management, right? And you dropped out very, very, very fast.
29.
29 days, right? That was fast, right?
Yeah.
So how come the move? What triggered the e-com shift?
So talking about the hotel management thing, like when I was in uni for whatever reason, I always in my family, some of my family members have been in the space, so I was very intrigued by it. Like it all like go to a 5-star hotel, it's fancy, you've got like it smells nice, people are dressed in suits. So I was always like, okay, this is what I want to do. By the way, I have no degree, nothing. So I gave it a shot. But what it is from the outside is very different from the inside. They make you do, I don't even want to get into it, but it was horrible, man. And I remember I just fresh out of uni, super motivated. And I was like, is this what a job is like? Is this what I have to do for the rest of my life? Because this is torture. So I was like, screw it, dumped that, quit. And then I joined this AI chatbot firm back in 2018. And now chatbots are very common. But back in the day, a chatbot was like, whoa, what is this? So I joined that firm as an intern. Made my way up to a marketing director in like 10 months. And that was my, I would say, entry into the online world. So that's how I got into the online. You can make money online. And therefore, then I stumbled upon dropshipping somewhere. And then started watching courses, started because you don't teach dropshipping in university, right? As a matter of fact, I would say that anything that I was in Singapore for a year, I was in England for a year in the top B schools, not of course like a Harvard level B school, but top B schools. I didn't learn anything, man. I'll just be honest. Whatever I learned on myself, self-learning courses, Google, YouTube, free content, paid content. I learned about dropshipping, started myself, and that's how I kind of started.
Aajkal the world is moving towards a lot of this, right? People are saying ki universities,
I'm one of those.
there's so much available on YouTube and so much
Yeah.
good available to learn,
Yeah.
and more realistic and more, I would say, things which you'll use rather than going to a B school.
I also so a lot of people come on a podcast and preach it, right? But I'm one of those who walk the talk essentially. I made my younger brother drop out.
Oh, you did?
Yes, he was in Mumbai at a top design school, and after his first year, and this is like 2 years back, and he was in a design school. Now I can give a voice command and get a design,
Yeah,
right?
and so good.
And better than anyone,
anything, yeah.
efficient, doesn't
Yeah.
take time, doesn't take holidays, ki
Correct.
sir main nahi aa sakta types. So I saw that wave coming 2 years back already, and I was like, by the time you pass out, your degree won't mean anything. So I literally, my dad is also very pro of this. So we've got, luckily, a family
Support.
like that who supports us and understands that. So I called him. I was like, yo, listen, you're dropping out. He's like, what do you mean? And to his benefit, he also understood that, okay, I'm going to trust my parents and my younger brother, my elder brother. And he also understood. He dropped out. Now he's running his own agency. He's like at 21, I don't know how to do my taxes. He's filed taxes twice. Like he's done so many things. He's already so ahead. So I genuinely believe that a university degree in today's age, again, there are some caveats here. If you're going for something very specialized, like maybe doctors or something like that, sure, man, go get your degree. But if you're going for a design degree or a marketing degree or a business
Or maybe
degree,
an MBA these days.
I mean, if you want a business degree, start a business. The amount of stuff I learned in a year of starting my business, I didn't learn in my 4 years of uni, right? They taught me outdated stuff. Now with AI and now with the likes of Claude, and we just had the first $1 billion AI company, right? I mean,
1%. We are a 2% $1 billion company right now. I don't know if you read about that as well.
okay.
So Elon Musk had mentioned that we're going to see soon single person $1 billion companies, right? We've already had one with two.
Okay.
So, and Claude also released Claude Design few days back, right? I mean, it's getting crazy. I mean, the way things are moving.
Exactly. So I just feel like, what's the point of a university degree when you start now, but 4 years later, you're going to be in a position where some kid who just hacked it with Claude Code in his basement for a couple of months has like a, multi-million-dollar startup. So again, that's my take. Everyone's open to their own suggestions, I think.
So, what business you built when you left hotel management, and what was the success?
So essentially, I did. I was at this AI chatbot company for a couple of years. I understood dropshipping. I was like, cool. I didn't have the money back then to kind of start. Actually, I found out about Amazon FBA, which is essentially selling on Amazon, right? But in Amazon, you need inventory. So they expect you to hold inventory and send it to the warehouse. Now, I didn't have money for inventory. And if you bet on a certain product, you really need to be sure that this is going to work, because if it doesn't work, you're stuck with stock. Now, that's the beauty of dropshipping, which you don't have to be stuck with stock. I could test this today, that tomorrow, and then I could keep flipping. So I was like, cool, this makes sense. I remember I still saved up about 2 lakhs from my job, and I was like, cool, now I'm going to go all in. Then just started testing products from China, I'll be honest. Saw some courses, understood how to select the right product. For I think almost 10 months or 11 months, got zero success. But I understood, yeah.
I'm sorry. You tested different products during this time.
Yes. Different products like beauty, kids, gardening products. Like you name it, I tested everything under the sun. Everything failed, okay? I built 4, 5, 6 websites. Everything failed. But I understood one thing. And for everyone who's listening right now, the first thing I see a lot of people today are like, I want to make my first $1 million. I want to make my first 1 crore. But I feel like the first thing you need to do is learn how to stay alive. Most people die in the beginning, right? 90% of startups die, 90% of entrepreneurs quit. So my dream wasn't to make $1 million in the beginning. I was like, I just need to stay alive, learn the craft. And one day, if I stay alive for too long, I will succeed. So to give an example, when I built a website and it failed, I understood, and I needed to bankroll my next, because if you test products, you need money for ads, right? Like it's not organic. So I understood, okay, cool, I need to bankroll myself. Like like in poker, people bankroll themselves, correct? So I was like, okay, what do I do? So back against the wall, I'm like, I built a website. I spent weeks on it. Can I monetize that? So I went on websites like Flippa, and you can flip your website. So an American sitting over there will pay you $2,000 for the website you built.
Hmm.
And I was like, okay, cool. So now even if I fail, I make 2 grand out of it. Now this 2 grand now will help me fund my next website. I fail again, but with every failure, I learn how to make ads. I learn how to make a website. I'm getting better at every skill set. And there was no AI back then, right?
Yeah.
So for 6 websites, I kept failing, but kept flipping the website. On my 6th website, it was a kids product, educational kids product, which is what the brand was called Bright Rise. And I ended up doing close to 6 crores in sales with that product.
Wow.
That product changed my life, like netted 20,
Flipped it for you.
literally. Yeah, that flipped it for me. Then I understood that, okay, educational kids is my niche. Not that I have a kid or I know something about kids, but this is working, so I'm going to sell it. I'll be honest. So I started testing more products in the educational kids niche. I built a micro brand around it. I started understanding. I work with close to 200 momfluencers, moms. Like, what does your kid want? And the whole prerogative was, if you want to gift your child something, don't make it a remote control car. Make it something which is actually adding value to the child. So, and I was speaking with mothers from the United States, and I had no idea. Like an Indian mother, you still know, but like, that's a different TG altogether. So did that, and I think that was my first chunk of success. So two products combined. One did 6 crores, one did about 10 crores, which was the
Wow.
second one. Again, shipping from China, but making sure the quality is good, packaging is good. Yeah, that was when I hit it off, and that from there was no looking back.
You were talking about this success, and I don't know if you heard this Jack Ma's comment, which I really love, that today's tough, tomorrow's tougher, day after is beautiful, and
Right.
most people die tomorrow evening.
Exactly.
Right.
100%. So it's about
And I
staying.
love that comment that
Yeah, yeah.
you
It's,
know.
it's about staying alive. That's what I said. It's about staying alive in the beginning. For anyone who's listening, you don't have to think about your first crore or your first don't. Like, one step at a time, man. Like, I'm not saying don't dream. I'm a huge dreamer. Like, I'm super ambitious right now. But I think if I would have thought of, okay, how do I make my first crore, and then obviously failed, which I did, like most people, then I would have given up. So in the beginning, stay alive, learn the skill set, and give it time, guys. Like, everyone's because of, and I think even people like me are culprit to that, because we post stuff on Instagram. There's a flashy lifestyle going on. This car, Dubai vacation,
That's a
blah
big
blah blah.
problem.
But the problem is, you have to cut the noise out. Like, I had that too when I was coming
It's
up.
very tough. Sometimes when you see videos, right, the algorithm bumps you with those videos. And today you go to YouTube. It's crazy. Let's say just write once, want to become a millionaire, or want to earn 1 crore today, or, want to earn 10 crores today, or, whatever you want to do. It triggers so many videos that to become a millionaire and a billionaire is so easy, right? It actually grasps you so well. And it's very tough to get out of it,
I
right?
know. I think one thing I'll speak out of my experience is that coming up, I think since I was a kid, I've never compared myself to anyone. I think happiness ends where comparison starts. That's also a quote. Okay. So I feel like have you seen that meme where there's a guy riding a bike and he's looking at the guy in the car and he's unhappy?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And then
yeah.
the car guy looks at the
Yeah,
Lambo, and the
correct,
Lambo guy looks at the helicopter.
correct.
So you could be driving a Lamborghini, but if you don't look at the helicopter, you're still gonna feel sad again. I don't have the helicopter.
Helicopter.
So stop comparing to start with. Focus on what you have to do, right? And your goal should be, okay, I have to. So I stuck to my lane, like I wasn't seeing people who were posting flashy stuff or whatever. I would rather say use it to motivate yourself at best. Don't feel bad about the fact that you don't have it. Motivate yourself, stick to the lane, learn the skill set, and please give it time. Um, yes, what you have to understand in short form content, people are incentivized. The algo incentivizes you to post certain kinds of things, so people post it, including myself, right? But be smart about that and understand that there's always an underbelly, right? People see the high life, but people don't see, like, I didn't have Instagram when I was stuck in a hole working 14 hours a day, 6 days a week, right? I wasn't posting then because I knew that this is what I have to focus on. Once I started earning money, when I started posting, and it's my profile. I can post whatever I want. You have to be careful about what
What
you have
you
to
post.
see.
Correct. What I have to see.
Yeah. You have to be like, okay, cool. I have to cut this guy out. Like, I don't want to see him, for example. Or if I see him, I'm going to use that motivation and understand. Maybe someone who's watching this is that it took me 2 years, 3 years to get there. The life you're seeing right now didn't come easy.
Yeah, no one sees that, na? Everyone sees the tip, the success. वही वाली बात होगी ना,
So
इसको.
I had a mentor coming up who I um like, and it wasn't a free mentor. I paid him close to $30,000, and not in one shot, but I still remember before I heard about him. And his program price was about 6,000 USD, a lot of money, right? So I figured out a way to pay that like in installments, in 3 installments, and that changed. Like, if I would say there was one defining moment in my life to, I used to earn 70,000 a month. That was my salary. Okay, my first goal in life was, how do I make my business earn 70,000 a month? Okay. Once I did that, I was like, cool, now I can quit my job, because I understood one thing. A lot of people are, oh, side hustle, side hustle. Nah, man, there's no side hustle. If you want a business, go all in, you know?
Hmm.
And here's another saying, which is I made up. People put in side hustle effort, but expect full business return.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? You put in 2 hours a day, but you want crores in revenue. You can't get that. You think people who are making that kind of money are putting in 2 hours a day? You got to go all in. So I understood, okay, cool. I had this rule. I mean, I'm not the best financial expert, but I made this rule. When I have 12 months of salary in my bank account, I'm going to quit my job. Okay. So I saved up. I had 12 months of salary. As like, even if I fail and do nothing for 12 months, I'm going to live my life, right? I quit my job. I went all in. And then I hit a ceiling. I still remember I was doing about 30 grand a month in sales. I was like, okay, I've done all the free resources. Ab bhai, I can't understand what I'm doing. I need to pay someone, because if I can leverage 10 years of your time, for example, right, by paying a fee, it's a no-brainer. I don't understand the hate behind that, you know? And yeah, people in the audience are going to say right now, okay, because you sell stuff too. Yeah, sure, I do. But the point I'm trying to say is, if today there's someone sitting in front of me who has spent 2 decades of his life with certain experiences, and his time has value, right? Don't you think? His time has value, and if you want his time, you got to pay for it. So I paid that guy 6 grand, and that's when my mind opened up, because then I was in a circle of like 50, 60 entrepreneurs, e-com entrepreneurs from around the world.
Oh, so this is an e-com course.
Yeah, e-com. So e-com mastermind. And I enter, and there are people doing like $1 million months. First, I thought this is a scam. Like, Indian mindset, hai, everything's a scam, right?
Yeah.
But then I meet them, I see them, and I'm like, no, this isn't no scam. These guys are doing $1 million a month sales. Someone's doing 2 million. Someone's going for $100 million exit. That's when my mind opened up. I was like, bro, you've been thinking so small. You've been thinking 70,000 a month. There's a ocean out there. And you know, like, I always like saying this. When we think of someone like Mr. Ambani or Mr. Tata, like, we can never relate because we don't know them. We've never sat with them. But when the guy next to you does $1 million a month, then you're like, oh, if he can do it, so can I.
Correct.
He has 2 eyes and he bleeds. You know what I mean? So there's nothing different with him. And that's what happened with me. I was like, cool. So I didn't do $1 million once, by the way, but I did 300 grand. I went from 30,000 to $300,000 a month in 6 months in that program. And it just opened my eyes in terms of what's really possible. And that group, it's so important. The average of 5 people, right? So important. Everyone was like always talking about such numbers. No one was like, like जैसे बोलते हैं कि अरे पागल है कैसे करेगा तू? How can you do it? Like, people over here push you down,
Push you down.
right? Push you down, and they're like, don't even think about it. Don't even like. That's why most people can't even leave their jobs, because their parents or their people. So that just opened my horizon as to what's really possible, and then I would say it was a self-fueling machine.
But what was like the 2-3 things you really learned in that which triggered this?
I think the first thing is the horizon of what's possible. I always, like I told you, my limit was 70,000, 1 lakh, 2 lakh rupees. Okay. Now I'm talking like the ocean, the number one. Number two, I also understood that they're nothing special. Like I said, they bleed, they're the same like us. So it just made me feel more relatable, that even I can do it. Like, I want to say, maybe hum bhi kar lenge. Like, it's that kind of code, right? That's why it hit home, ki hum bhi kar lenge, but there's no big deal. And I think the third thing is, so we used to have weekly calls, right? Multiple weekly
Acha,
calls.
okay.
Yeah, so we used to have like 3 calls a week. So every week I was going on a call Tuesday, Wednesday, and it was US time. So I used to get on a call at 11 p.m., right? All the way till 1 a.m., 2-hour call. I think that vibration of being around such people just makes you like, even if you're in the bottom of that room is worth $1 million. So you are worth, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I think the third thing was that I was just surrounded by these people. And by the way, I'd never met them. This is a Zoom call. It's not like I'm sitting with them. but just talking to them day in and day out. And let's say over there, if you do $100,000 a month, it's no big deal. You're a small fish. Over here, it's like 80 lakh rupees. You know what I mean? So I think it just pushed the barrier for me that, hey, think bigger. Like literally think bigger.
And you've mentioned somewhere that you call yourself as jack of all trade,
Yeah.
master of none.
Yeah.
Now, this question is mainly for people who are listening कि यार मेरे पास तो talent ही नहीं है. There are people who are saying यार ये अच्छा, like just to add to what you were saying right now is यार मेरे पास तो talent ही नहीं है, भगवान ने मुझे gift ही नहीं किया है, and उसको gift किया है. That's always like the comparison point कि he's gifted, I'm not gifted, you can do it, I can't do it. What do you have to say to those people?
Firstly, again, don't compare to start with. Secondly, I feel like I also gave a TED talk on this, that grit beats talent all the time when talent doesn't work. So talent doesn't mean shit if you don't do anything about it. When I said I was jack of all trades, I think the one thing which has helped me get this far and go further is, like you said, I'm not the best at anything in ecom. But I know this is going to be a bit watered down for people कि हाँ भाई ये तो सुना है कुछ और बता. But I feel like I never gave up, man. Like the grit was, and it came out of some fear. Okay, and I want to talk about that. The fear was, when I remember I was so scared to leave my job. I'm not even kidding. I was so scared. I used to low-key have nightmares about it. That when I leave my job, what will people say? And I'm the kind of guy, I'm prideful, right? I have pride, like in a positive way, right? I'm a Leo. So I was like, if I leave, I can't go back. Imagine if I leave, I fail, then I have to find another job.
Mm.
I can't do that to myself. So that fear really challenged me to not give up. I have to figure this out. I have no choice. Like back against the wall, I have no choice. And I think that's the one trait which made me good at things, that because the talent maybe wasn't working, but this guy was just trying to move a wall and eventually he did. So I feel like the people who think they don't have talent or they're not, and I'm not saying I say that with the place of humbleness. Of course, I am smart at things, but I'm not exceptionally good at something. Like some people are just really good at design or really good at something. I was good at sports. I played national level football, like represented Delhi under 17s. I was a sports person mostly. But in terms of business, no. So I think people who feel like they don't have talent, as long as you can put in the work for a really crazy amount of period of time, you'll succeed. So you don't need to be talented. Just have the grit.
And you've sold products or done business not just in India, right? US or UK or Australia. What's the fundamental difference between selling in India versus selling in these countries? And second question is, let's say if I were to start an e-com business, do I target a market like India where we understand the margins are slightly, or I would say razor thin, versus a market like US where we could get more margins
Right. So I think firstly, fundamental differences, it's 10 times harder. Okay. I've done,
internationally?
yes. And specifically the US. I wouldn't say Australia and anything else, but the US is fundamentally 10 times harder when it comes to everything. Delivering, so India has an RTO issue, which we'll talk about, right? I'm sure, because that's of course a topic. But so delivering in the US is not hard. There's no RTO because it's prepayment. But selling to the customer, making him get his credit card out or his PayPal out and paying you beforehand, a US customer is very mature. They can smell bullshit from a mile away. And over here, the customers aren't that mature yet because online has just come in last decade, right?
Yeah.
So the fundamental difference I think over there is you have to have a great product. You can't have a subpar product. You have to have great marketing, great content, great packaging. And as you know, in the US, there's chargebacks and disputes. So tomorrow, let's say I sell you a product, right? You get it, you don't like it. You can literally file a dispute with your bank saying, hey, I don't like this product. And then I have to fight you with it. And mostly the bank always favors the customer. So even if you don't like it, I think India also started that right now. Razorpay, we have chargebacks now.
Okay.
Yeah. It's many people don't know about this, but it started now. So imagine I get a product, I don't like it, and I can literally get a refund.
Out there in stores, we see people can return after years also.
Exactly.
I mean, it's like crazy that you take a product, use it, and return it back.
So I'll give you some data here. In PayPal, you can't have more than a 0.1% dispute rate, which means if I'm a seller and if I'm doing 100 orders a month, I can't piss off more than one customer. Which means अगर दो लोगों ने dispute डाल दिया, they can ban you. Secondly, that customer can file a dispute for 6 months, to your point. He buys it today, but 4 months later he thinks, यार ये समझ नहीं आ रहा मेरे को,
हाँ.
dispute. So that market forces you. And I, for whatever reason, वो होता है ना कि डॉलर में कमाएंगे, but I picked the worst, or but in hindsight, the best market for my what's the Hindi word for it? I don't know, but my preparation, because I was I prepped myself in the most toughest market in the world, a random kid sitting in Gurgaon selling to the people in the US. In Stripe, which is another payment processor, it's 0.75%. So you can piss off less than 0.75% people. And guess what? Once your payment processing is gone or you're banned, your business is done because there's no COD. So how do you collect payments? And it's not as easy as एक खोल लिया फिर दूसरा भी खोल लिया.
हाँ, correct, of course.
Your ID is there, your passport is there.
Yeah.
So if one is banned, second one you're gone. And I never got banned because I was forced to. So I gave refunds, I gave gift cards, I told the customer to keep the product for free. I had to make sure that you have the best experience possible so that I stay alive. That is the fundamental difference. India में क्या है? ऐसा कुछ नहीं है इंडिया में. कहाँ डिस्प्यूट रेट, कहाँ चार्जबैक, वो तो आज तक काफी लोगों को इससे पता लग जाएगा चार्जबैक होता भी है.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's coming now. And secondly, the fundamental difference is product quality over again, you know the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the advantage I would say for everyone who's listening is, when it's a jungle, if you're Alexander the Great and you don't know where the world is, then if you capture something, you become the king there. So I feel like disruption is ripe in India right now because it's not mature. The good part over there is, sure, you earn in dollars and everything, but I just told you all the difficulties. And the advantage over here is the fact that the market is still not booming. And if you set up a good product, if you do your job ethically, you can make a really good business here with 10 times less competition. So I think it's a pretty fair deal for any Indian who wants to start. And I see a lot of people who are like, नहीं डॉलर में कमाएंगे, डॉलर अब तो 94, 93 हो गया है, you know what I mean?
Correct.
So everyone has that लालच per se.
खर्चा भी डॉलर में होता है, वो भूल जाते हैं लोग.
खर्चा भी डॉलर में होता है. And plus, what you have to understand is the number one thing is that आप इंडिया में रह के इंडियन कंपनी से बाहर चलाना is like next to impossible.
Correct. You have to be there.
You have to be there, and you have to have, like, for example, I have set up an Indian PayPal, and won't go into details, but the Indian government doesn't like too much about you doing cross-border, right? So you have to open up a Hong Kong entity or a Dubai entity, which is fine. You disclose that. It's all cool. But setting up a company outside, I still remember I was like, yaar, bahar company set up karni hai, how do I do it? Literally, that I was like it now is very simple. You call someone, there's an agent. In Hong Kong, for example, I have a company secretary. You cannot open a company in Hong Kong without a company secretary. Like in Dubai also, I believe, you need to have someone who's a resident there, right? No one told me that. So, इधर क्या है, खोलो GST अपना बढ़िया, बिना GST के भी आप start कर सकते हो, by the way, over here. So it's as simple as that. So barrier to entry is low, opportunity cost, and you know what? One thing I asked myself, effort दोनों जगह same जाएगा. I will have to put in 100% here, 100% here. Where is the ROI more? And the ROI was a clean deal for me. I spoke to some of my mentors in India also, and they were like, listen, effort will be the same. ROI in India is going to be a lot higher because, we're building for India. And by the way, the brand also right now, which we can get into, I can't disclose right now, of course, because I'm building in stealth, but we're making India. We set up our own factory right here in Delhi.
Nice.
So we're making India. So we're building for India. And essentially, I think...
So you can't disclose the product?
I can't disclose the brand. Can't disclose the brand.
What's the product?
Can't disclose the product either.
What is the category?
It's in the home care niche. Yeah, it's in the home care niche. And I think by the time this pod gets out, it's probably going to be
Maybe
public.
out.
No, it'll probably be public, most probably.
So now you can say it now then.
Yeah, well, let people come and find out on my profile maybe. But yeah. So that's how it is. Yeah.
So how does someone choose a product? Like a person would go to China and say like, ये gut मुझे लग रहा है, it's good.
China जाने की जरूरत भी नहीं है ना.
चलो कहीं भी हो. Example.
Online देख लो.
चलो online देख लो. My gut is saying it's good. Or there's a trending TikTok or an Instagram video about a product. People would be like, okay, we take this. But you mentioned that you have a checklist in terms of to be thorough.
Correct.
Right. So what is it?
So this is number one mistake people make, that they look at a product, and as an Indian, you always say this, yaar, ye chalega. And that's the worst thing you can do to start, because you never base it on feelings. Dropshipping or any business in today's age is data driven. You have to base it on data. I'm a huge believer in that. And that's what's been some of my success has come from the fact that I don't care what I think. I don't care what you think or anyone thinks. If the data reads something, I will follow the data. Of course, now after so many years of selling hundreds of products, I like to call this the marketing gut, which you cannot have on day one. You develop it after you've sold a lot of products, right? So in the beginning, let's say you see a product, essentially, India specific, like to go for high intent niches versus low intent niches. Now, let me explain. Now, a high intent niche is, let's say, kids or home, things which solve a problem and you really care about. Now, if you're selling some scammy hair oil, okay, you are going after a low intent niche. So, usme low intent buyer hai. Like high intent mein, let's say it's a kid's niche, right? The kid orders the toy. He's going to keep asking his mom or dad, when's the toy coming? When's the toy coming? So the customer has a high intent to receive the product. And that's a huge reason for RTOs, by the way. RTOs are not just because of because the customer just says, I don't want it. Because he's a low intent buyer.
Okay.
Because he ordered at 2 a.m. swiping, COD है, पैसे देने नहीं है.
देने नहीं है.
अब भाई 3 दिन बाद उसको लगा कि यार मेरे को नहीं चाहिए ये, मैं तो ऐसे ही कर लिया था, वैसे भी अजीब सा लग रहा है. वर्सेस बच्चे का टॉय आ रहा है, बच्चे आपका पीछे पड़ जाएगा आपके कि आई हैव अ लिटिल ब्रदर, ही विल बी लाइक, आई ऑर्डर्ड हिम अ लेगो सेट फॉर हिज बर्थडे, ही कॉल्ड मी लाइक एवरी डे, where's my Lego set, where's my Lego set? So I'm like tense. Like, is the Amazon bag gonna come and like no miss it because I have to get the Lego set, man? So my intent is so high to receive that product, therefore RTO is not there. So I would go for a high intent niche. So what is a high intent niche? Kids, home, kitchen. Indians love their kitchen. Indians love cooking. Anything to do with cooking, kitchen. Now, once I've identified that, okay, so people even before selecting a product need to select their niche. Then let's go product. Now we have these 14 to 15 KPI points. And my rule is that it should pass at least 7 to 15 points before I filter it out. So think of it like we take a product, put it into a filter, and if it passes a filter, only then do we test it. So the points are small in size. Small in size, why? Because shipping will be less. Easier to ship. High perceived value. यार ये बड़ा महंगा लगता है, but है नहीं. So high perceived value. It's not महंगा, but लगता महंगा है, right? I also like going for women-dominated niches. I feel like women are impulsive buyers. Men add to cart, think 10 times, and then do not buy it. Whereas women, boom. So I've noticed, and the data says that, by the way, it's not just me, that women-dominated niches are good. So beauty, personal care. So if it's women, so these are all points. So I have 15 points like these. And if it matches 7 out of 15, it passes. The more the merrier. So अगर 11 point है तो भाई, that's very good. अब इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि चलेगा ही चलेगा, but the chances of it working are really high, and therefore you have now taken a data-driven approach to testing a product versus ये मुझे लगता है चलेगा.
What's a category you think which looks very nice, but it's actually a dead trap?
I mean, I feel like there's a category basically for everything today. I don't want to, I don't think I would say a dead trap, but let's call it cluttered maybe. I think cluttered would be something that like people say white space, right? You want to go for something where people aren't doing much.
ऐसी कौन सी स्पेस है आज की डेट में तो समझ ही नहीं आता. It's like when we say ना we go for the blue ocean. I like where's the blue ocean?
Yeah, that
First tell me where's the blue ocean. It's so tough to find a blue
That
ocean.
is true. That is true. I think that's a very tricky question because it's a double-edged sword, right? Like let's say if you go for beauty, it's a high intent niche, it's a high involvement niche.
Tough market,
But it's so cluttered. I mean, I could name 100 brands right now doing the same things and another 100 coming up. So the good thing is the buy intent is there. Bad thing is there's so many out there. The problem with, but I personally, and hopefully in the coming weeks, people will find out, like to go for boring niches where no one's looking. Now, the problem there is that people will say, oh, it's low involvement, no one's cracked it, so how can you, the interest isn't there. But I feel like, या किसी ने फोड़ा नहीं इस niche में, तो मैं बोलता हूँ मैं फोड़ूंगा ना. You know what I mean? So I like to go for boring is where the money is, I feel. You know what I mean? So somewhere where no one is looking is where I like to look. But again, like you said, you have to be very, very, like you have to do a lot of research to find those spaces. But hey, ऐसा नहीं है.
But more than product, don't you think it all for any D2C brand comes down to marketing or meta ads or any type of आज के डेट में तो meta ads I would say would be everything. You know, because everything is ads. So how do you go about it? I mean, how would be your ad strategy be, or how should people think about their ad strategy? Because
Yeah.
products could be really good, and like you said, इतना market भरा हुआ है, अगर आप हो नहीं किसी के Instagram में या तो वो product कभी आएगा ही नहीं.
You know, that's such a great point you've made. And so many people miss the point you just made. You could have the best product in the world, but if it's not in someone's eyes, it doesn't mean anything. Whereas I've seen subpar products with great marketing do really well. There's a brand in the US called Liquid Death, okay? It sells water in a can. बियर के कैन में पानी बेचते हैं। $300 मिलियन की कंपनी है वो। क्यों? मार्केटिंग। अब आप बोलोगे यार ये तो पानी बेच रहा है, सर इसमें क्या बड़ी बात है? Now, I'm not saying sell a subpar product, but all I'm saying is I also see some people say that, oh, you know how to run ads so you can sell. But that's like, पुराने ज़माने में कहते थे, like this is my take, I might be wrong, कि जब लोग धंधा लेने जाते थे तो शॉप पे जाते थे, शॉपकीपर के साथ बैठते थे, उसका चाय पीते थे, उसको कन्विंस करते थे कि भाई हमारा माल ले लो। दिस इज द न्यू एज ऑफ डूइंग दैट,
कि मेरा माल ले लो।
कि माल ले लो, राइट? लाइक हमारा माल ले लो, हियर्स मी, डिस्कवर मी एंड बाय फ्रॉम मी। बट दैट यूज टू बी हेल्ड एज अ ग्रेट स्किल कि यार वो ना 50 शॉप में जाके बेचते थे, आप बड़ा एंटरप्रेन्योर, आप बोल रहे हाँ तुम अपने लैपटॉप से एड्स चलाते हो, क्या बड़ी बात है? नहीं भाई, बड़ी बात है। और आधे लोगों को चलाने भी नहीं आते एड्स, टू बी वेरी
So
ऑनेस्ट।
what's so special about, so मेरा question
हाँ,
now,
हाँ।
ऐसा क्या you do कि आपके ads इतने अच्छे हैं?
सी फर्स्टली अगेन अ लॉट ऑफ इट, जब प्रोडक्ट अच्छा हो ना तो एड चलाना तो आधा टाइम वो आसान हो ही जाता है। सो
That's your base. I would say
Yes.
product तो अच्छा होना ही चाहिए, that's your base.
Okay, so let's start with that.
Then
Base
our
अच्छा है।
product is good.
Yeah, when it comes to ads, you have to fundamentally understand the algorithm. Okay, you have to. So every press release of Meta, or I literally, every press release of Meta or anything that Mark Zuckerberg or the CEO of Instagram says, I follow that to the T, because I want to understand where is the algorithm heading. Like when TikTok came out and Instagram was, I need to compete with that, they launched Reels and then Reels were going viral. Reels are the only way you can even get reach right now organically, right? You post, nothing's going to go viral. It's only your Reels. Now they started pushing carousels a bit, but whatever. So you need to
But main reels है.
yeah, हाँ, Reels हैं. Reels से ही viral जाओगे, Reels से ही reach आएगी. So you have to understand the algorithm. Now understand, if I am Meta, what does Meta want? Okay, let's do a thought exercise. If I am Meta, what does Meta want? Meta wants to increase average view time for every customer. वो ये चाहता है कि भाई आप लगे
उसके
रहो,
platform में रहो.
आप scroll करते रहो और मतलब become a broccoli essentially by brain, right? So it wants to increase average view time. Okay, cool. So when I'm creating a 30-second ad, I have to understand that I have to keep this guy watching my ad as much as I can, which is average view time of the ad. Okay, so now I understand this. Okay, what's the next thing? Okay, so now I need to hook him, because the attention span of the people today is of a goldfish.
Yeah.
3
2-3 second भी नहीं है.
1 second में नहीं है. Okay, so now what is the hook? The first 3 seconds of the reel. Okay, cool. So now I have to make the first 3 seconds of the reel really, really engaging. Like I can't say some bland statement which is not going to resonate with him. I have to say something aggressive, something provocative. I have to evoke an emotion in the guy. You know what I mean? So, okay, now I've hooked him. So he's seen 3 seconds. But he can bounce off after 3 seconds. So now what are the next 3 seconds? I have to agitate that hook. So let's say if I was selling a fat loss product, right? And my hook is tired of not getting attention from the ladies. Boom. Okay, hook. My agitate is like, in the movies when they press on that and they're like, like goli lagti hai, wo dabata hai usko, aur usi se. That is the agitate part. So that is the next 3 seconds. Agitated more. Ab maine usko dikha diya kitne? 6 seconds. And like that, you have to break your entire ad down and I like using this analogy that you throw a rope and you have to keep pulling the guy in, essentially, to make you watch your ad. Now, of course, not all people are going to watch 30 seconds, but even if they watch 50% of your ad, now the algo knows that the ad this guy is running, people are watching 15 seconds, that's his average view time, and he is doing what I want, which is keeping people on the platform. यार मैं इसके ad को और दिखाता हूँ लोगों को. मैं इसको cost per click, which is like a cost for each,
Reduce कर
देता हूँ. इसका CTR, which is click through rate, which is the percentage of people who clicked on your ad, increase कर देता हूँ. And ad network क्या होता है? Auction होता है, like बोली लगती है. There are 2 million active advertisers on Meta last I checked. अब ज़्यादा बढ़ गए होंगे. सब bid कर रहे हैं उसी traffic के लिए. तो auction है.
And this is automated, like
Yeah, this is the algo. This is the algo. So essentially, how do I place each advertiser based on this very thing I just told you?
So there's a lot of thought process for an
Exactly.
ad. It's not like so simple.
कि बस बना के चला
दिया.
अब वो 90% लोग यही करते हैं कि भाई मैंने and I see so many people spending tens of lakhs on product shoots and photo shoots and this and that. Here's another thing, guys. Whoever's starting to be an entrepreneur, be very careful with, and especially if you're bootstrapped. Like we're bootstrapped right now, right? And I've always been bootstrapped, never raised funds yet. You have to really respect the dollar or the rupee, man. 10 लाख के फोटो शूट करा रहे हो तुम, रेवेन्यू तुम्हारा है नहीं. Like You know what I mean? And people feel like, oh, as long as I make it look good, it's going to do well. No,
No.
no.
मैं तो वही बोलता हूँ ना, जब तक बिकता, इट्स एट द एंड सेल इज योर मेन थिंग.
Yeah.
प्रोडक्ट मे बी द मोस्ट माइंड ब्लोइंग प्रोडक्ट, इफ इट डजंट सेल इट्स शिट.
Yeah. So people are spending tens of lakhs on product shoots. People are like, अच्छा मैंने मेरा ad क्यों चल रहा है? मैंने तो 10 लाख रुपए खर्चे product shoot में. नहीं भाई, तूने खर्च दिए होंगे 10 लाख रुपए, but the science of how to run that ad तूने समझा ही नहीं, या जो तेरे लिए ad चला रहा है वो समझता ही नहीं है. Um, and here's another thing I want to mention for most entrepreneurs. The reason why we've been able to do fairly well with our e-com business, or any business as a matter of fact, because I also run an education business, is because I've done everything myself. I've run ads, I've built websites, I've done video editing, I've done shoots, you name it, I've done it.
सो यू अंडरस्टैंड
Exactly.
कि नाउ यू कैन गाइड अगर कोई है.
Exactly. और शुरू में मैं देखता हूँ कि जो भी entrepreneur आता है वो भाई उसको मीडिया बाइंग नहीं आती, मतलब एड्स चलाने नहीं आते, तो जो भी वो एजेंसी हायर करता है वो उसको कुछ बोलते हैं और वो मान जाता है,
मान जाता है.
बिकॉज ही हैज नो चॉइस, उसको पता ही नहीं है. अब 2 साल तो उसको लग जाते हैं सीखने में. In that moment, if he's funded or not funded also, he's blown through 10, 20, 30 lakh rupees. Anyway, his confidence level is down because he doesn't understand this. That is why I like dropshipping. Because you can learn all of this at what? 1 lakh rupees? So I feel like the chances of you succeeding are a lot higher when you know. And now if any agency comes to me,
You can cross question, like, I mean, you have the, I would
not
say,
just cross question, but to remand to some extent. Because I'm like, bro, I know my shit. Don't tell me, like respectfully.
correct,
You know what I mean?
correct.
Yeah. So I think you should know your craft. मैं ये नहीं कह रहा कि आप ad में घुस जाओ, but आपको fundamentally पता होना चाहिए. तो नहीं तो यार कोई भी आपको कैसे, you will. And I've seen so many people. I get calls from my own. I don't want to name people, but like I get calls. They feel helpless. कि यार ये ऐसे कह रहा है, करूँ ना करूँ. And that's the worst feeling for an entrepreneur, when you feel helpless कि यार ये कुछ कह रहा है, I know he's bullshitting me, but I can't cross question him. And that can only come when you know the subject knowledge is very strong. Otherwise, everyone's going to take it.
And today there's enough,
Yeah.
I would say, paid, unpaid, free courses
100%.
to have the intent to
Yeah,
learn.
100%.
ऐसा नहीं है कि you have to pay also.
No,
मतलब
मैं तो बोलता ही हूँ, if I've gone on any sort of podcast, anything I've gone, I've said 100 times, I will speak out of my experience, do what I did. I didn't get the paid course in the beginning. मैंने YouTube चार्ट लिया था. Like I have watched everything for free. Once I understood that I've gone from 0 to 1 and I've hit my ceiling, and now I want to go from 1 to 10, I need mentorship. Then get it if you want. It's not a must. But definitely don't pay first. Go learn for free. YouTube has everything. I make YouTube things for free too. Like if you go on my channel, I've done masterclasses and courses on how to do it. Watch that, go do it, and that's enough. So don't pay for it. ये भी गलत बात है by the way, जब लोग जल्दी पे कर देते हैं. Because आप क्लास में जा रहे हो, आपको एडिशन पता नहीं है और बात ट्रिग्नोमेट्री की हो रही है. How will you understand? तो पहले तो आप एडिशन सीखो खुद, उतना तो सीख सकते हो, और फिर जब ट्रिग्नोमेट्री की बात होगी तो फिर आपको भी समझ आएगा कि क्या हो रहा है. बिकॉज जब वो कॉल्स होती हैं तो उसमें तो हाई लेवल बातें हो रही हैं. सो दैट्स व्हेन एंड आई आल्सो गॉट माय मेंटरशिप. आई न्यू द बेसिक्स एंड नाउ आई वाज लाइक, हाउ डू आई गेट टू नो द एडवांस स्टफ, एंड दैट्स हाउ इट हेल्प्ड मी.
But I think so, one thing is easier also now that we have AI, right?
Amazing.
आज के दिन में, let's say when you started to make a website was a pain, right? Today making a website is like the easiest thing in the world.
Yeah.
Right.
And like
Amazing.
100 times better.
Correct. Amazing. I was seeing
Claude Design. you
Claude
were
Design
mentioning, yeah.
last week, right? Last week, and I was like, dude, this is like Claude Design has taken it to another level of this thing. How do you think it's going to change the whole e-commerce game? Because I'm sure it'll have an effect on ads, it'll affect on everything. So how do you see the change happening?
The change has already happened, and anyone who's not basically abiding to it is already behind. We use an AI stack in every part of the business. My first job as an entrepreneur, and how I've trained my team also, is that any task which comes to your mind, ask yourself, can AI do this? Which tool can do this? And it's like, okay, I'll give you an example. Maybe this is not the best way to frame it, but let's say this is a cup of coffee, okay? And I know that I just have to pick it up and drink it. It'll take 1 second, right? But then I have to tell myself, no, let me find an AI which can make me do this, like drink that cup of coffee. My natural response would be, यार 1 second ही तो है, कर लेता हूँ ना. But ये 1 second into a billion times will be a billion seconds. So people, even if like, I'll give you an example. I don't check my email anymore. I don't open my inbox. I tell Claude, hey Claude, what are the best emails? And Claude replies to it. But I had to set that up in my Claude, right?
Correct.
Right? So, but then I would have been like, कौन setup करेगा यार, कौन सीखेगा, मैं email ही तो है, reply कर देता हूँ ना. But लोग ये नहीं समझते भाई कि आपको वो email रोज reply करनी है, and that compounds over time. So essentially now we have an AI for every part. So let's say our logistics, our ads. AI makes our ads. AI helps us do our logistics in terms of
अब तो
analysis.
10 लाख प्रोडक्ट शूट के लिए भी जरूरत नहीं है, अब
बि-
तो
बिल्कुल भी
$20 दे दो आपके
बिल्कुल
सब
भी
कुछ।
नहीं, बिल्कुल भी नहीं. We make so right now we have close to, I think, 2,500 active ads for our
2000
cor-
ads
yes, correct.
for how many products?
Two.
What?
Yeah. So
2000 ads?
yeah,
How
yeah,
does
yeah.
that work?
So we've set up a system where essentially we make close to 100 ads a day. AI, all AI, and I'm talking studio level ads.
Yeah,
I'll
yeah,
show you
I'm
some
sure.
after this.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
like studio
I would
level
love to
stuff.
see.
Um,
And I'll put this on the podcast also just to show people.
yeah. So we make, so essentially I'll use some tools. So you can use Claude. You can use tools like Higgsfield. So Higgsfield is like
Amazing.
essentially
Yeah, used
all
it.
AI tools. So we're using Cdance 2.0, which has just come
Which
out.
is another amazing tool.
Yeah, amazing. Like movie level stuff.
Yeah,
right?
dude, sometimes better than movie.
Yeah. So we used to use Kling 3.0, VO3, and essentially what we basically do is essentially we let's say tell Claude to write a script, then we take that script and we put it into sections. Then हम उस एक section का मतलब 3 सेकंड का एक image बनाते हैं. So we have to do image to video
Yeah.
conversion. तो
Yeah.
Nano बनाना पे image बनाओ,
Yeah.
उस image से फिर video बनाओ. वीडियो बन जाएगी 3 से 8 सेकंड की, तो हुक बन गया, फिर और 3 सेकंड बन गया.
ऐसे
सारे
4-5 क्लब कर दी, आपकी
Exactly.
30 सेकंड की वीडियो बन
Exactly.
गई.
अब इसका हमने एक N10 flow बना दिया,
Okay.
which is basically automating the
Automatic
entire
the
thing,
entire thing.
connected it to my Slack. So on Slack, I go say, hey, make me an ad of this. Here are the angles, boom, boom. By Slack connect होता है N10 से, N10 का flow start होता है, brrr, edit होके आता है. And of course, we have some human
Of
intervention
course.
here,
अभी वो धीरे-धीरे तो
just to kind of
Double-
train the model better.
हम्म,
Like पहले हम क्या करते थे, image to video. अब हम image to video नहीं कर रहे, अब हम सीधा prompt to video कर रहे हैं,
हम्म.
right? So that's how we can push volume. And I don't like. Okay, this is of course a podcast, and it should be like this. There should not be two AIs talking, right? Maybe you never know actually, but
I had this conversation and you know this is crazy कि AI element में ना human की बहुत जरूरत होगी. You won't like to have two robots playing chess. That may be the perfect game, but you'll
100%.
not enjoy two robots playing, let's say, a tennis game. You want the human element. to it.
100%. Yeah, there's something which will be human, and I'm not gonna scare people by saying yes, taking your job. It's not gonna take your job. Yes,
It will
people
for
who-
sure.
No, it will for the people who are not upskilling
themselves.
right? Because eventually ऊपर जो operator बैठेगा वो एक AI बंदा ही होगा. अभी भी हमारे creative strategist है जो सब दिखता ही है.
Hmm.
Because it's not that flawless right now. So I used to spend, like, अगर मेरे को product shoot करना है, I would book a studio like this. I would have to get models. I would have to get script writers, videographer, 100 लोग आ गए भाई, पूरा दिन गया मेरा, फिर edit होगा. अब वो 1 सेकंड में बनता है.
Correct.
So that is the shift we've made. We still do shoots, by the way, but not at that frequency. And essentially, if we want the human element, then we do influencer collabs. So we send the product. Now influencer will do that shoot and give me the clip. And now I will do a mix of influencer clips, AI clips, put them together, and that's my ad.
But I'm just saying 200 ads.
2000.
2000 ads.
Yeah. And this is, by the way, अभी क्या हो
एक
गया?
तो है बनाना, ठीक है, इसके आपने बनाया, चलो आज के में ऑटोमेट है.
हाँ.
उसके बाद इतना रन करना
हाँ.
एंड इतना गेन मिलता है.
तो अब जैसे अब AI वाले एड क्रिएशन पार्ट पे तो आ गया अपना ये जो टूल्स मैंने आपको बताया,
That-
बट इनको अब लॉन्च भी करना पड़ता है एड्स मैनेजर पे, मेटा पे, which is the media buyer, which is a very like intensive job. Like media buyers, for example, are very high skilled people. Like if you go hire a marketing ad agency, they'll charge you a good retainer because that's a high income skill, right? But now there's a tool called Manus, which was just
Yeah.
acquired by Meta.
Yeah, I know.
And Manus now has given, like, Manus is crazy. I love Manus.
I love Manas too.
I keep playing.
My
with
favorite
it.
too, by the way.
Yeah. So Manus, now what Manus does is we've connected Manus and we've connected our Claude and our Higgsfield and our N10s, and this sends it to Manus, and now Manus launches the ad on Ads Manager.
Because मेटा ही है वो.
हाँ.
अब तो मेटा भी है ना.
और उसमें पूरा
पहले तो चाइनीज था, अब तो मेटा
yeah,
ऑन
so
हो
we've
गया.
given it API access to our Meta, and essentially API access for people who are listening is essentially you connecting to like I'm connecting Meta with Manus through a bridge.
Connector or whatever you want to
Right?
say.
Connector, correct. So now Manus will now launch the ads also. Manus will review the ads. And I use this tool, you must have heard of it, like it's called Whisper Flow. So I don't type anymore. It's voice.
Voice.
It's like you know that scene
You're
from
chit chatting.
Jarvis from Iron Man. You just open your laptop, you're like, Claude, create a bana, Manus
हाँ.
ये launch कर. And of course that's also, I think it's crazy what's happening, and this is all e-com, right? That I've just told you. We've also talking about RTOs, we've also used AI to essentially build a custom internal dashboard for my D2C brand, where it gives us predictive analysis on pin code level delivery, okay, projected delivery, and essentially tells us that okay, in certain pin codes of Jharkhand, for example, predicted delivery is less this month, so therefore do not deliver there or do not give a COD option in that pin code. We've got that micro. I've also done one more thing. Certain creatives, आपने creative ये देखा जिसमें मैं ना थोड़ा सा कुछ और दिखा रहा हूँ. वो creative का buyer का RTO ज़्यादा होता है और एक creative का buyer का RTO कम होता है. हमने ये भी connect कर दिया है कि creative level RTO क्या है, which people will be like, यार, how does that make sense? For example, in one creative, if I've overshot a lot, like I've gone very aggressive, the RTO is maybe higher there because people are not believing me. Versus in one creative, I've shown it very plain and simple, and therefore the person is trusting me, and therefore, so मैं creative level पे भी RTO देखता हूँ अब. ओए क्यों? AI की वजह से. Of course, मैंने तो ये tech stack build किया नहीं है. SaaS is dead, right?
Yeah.
SaaS is dead. So now it's like command, Claude Code, boom, 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 and so it's completely changed the game. Again, a lot of the things I'm talking about, people will be flustered by this. You don't have to do this, guys, in the beginning. All you have
One
to,
step at a time. Maybe.
yeah, this is at scale, right? I mean, we're doing.
You're running 2000 ads also, ना?
Yeah,
लोग तो एक या दो ही रन कर रहे हैं अभी.
आपको मुश्किल से 4, 5, 10 क्रिएट करने हैं. अगर आपको 1 लाख रुपए कमाने हैं महीने के, राइट? You would have to run 4, 5, 6 ads max. And if you want, and by the way, people are sleeping on static ads. Static तो कितने बना लो? Image.
हाँ.
एक prompt दो, 15 वेरिएशन बना लो उसके.
और सबको अलग-अलग डाल दो. So they
Exactly.
get distributed separately. I mean.
Yes.
And this is mainly again for Facebook and Instagram, right?
Meta. So Meta is the biggest ad platform on the planet. People are like, यार Google पे भी करते हैं. भाई तुम Meta क्रैक कर लो, you will be.
That was surprise, when I started podcast, someone said, don't ignore Facebook. I like, who goes to Facebook? But somehow I came to know Facebook is still the most important platform.
It is. So Facebook की जो TG है, it is the older TG, I would say. So a lot of the mom groups,
Matured
the
groups.
dadi groups are on Facebook. You know what I mean? So people use Facebook. There's a cult of Facebook.
I thought it was dead.
I don't use it either. I don't use it.
I was like, who goes to Facebook?
I use it to run ads. I don't. अब मैं homepage भी नहीं खोलता. मैं सीधा अपने ad
मैं वही बोल रहा हूँ, but I was surprised कि कितनी important audience में भी Facebook
अगर आप home बेच रहे हो ना, Facebook, अगर आप कोई Gen Z product बेच रहे हो, of course आपको वो Insta पे जाएगा. So the Meta algo is very smart, right? It will distribute traffic based on what your product is.
तो वही अपने आप Instagram में divide कर देगा या Facebook में divide कर देगा.
और Facebook, Instagram में भी divide कर लेगा कि यार रील में ज़्यादा लोग देख रहे हैं तो रील में ज़्यादा दिखाएगा. अगर लोग स्टोरी में देख रहे हैं तो स्टोरी ऐड दिखाएगा. अगर फीड में लोग ज़्यादा देख रहे हैं. So you can also select it manually, but I always recommend algo is very smart. Yeah? Let them
But
do
how often the algo changes? I mean, a lot of times, I asked a question once to Claude, ki, what's the current algo, right, of this thing? What is algo? Is it the comments made by the CEO? They're saying it, or there's officially a statement which comes from
No, so by the way, the algo is something that no one knows.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's what I understood, that no one knows.
It's a black box, okay? We as marketers or people who are spending ad money, essentially see, at the end of the day, what is marketing? Marketing is a fancy term for testing and pattern recognition. आपने 3 चीजें की, उनमें से 2 चल गई, फिर आपने उन 2 की 10 की, 10 में से, so you connect the patterns, you connect the dots, and then you make your own thesis. अभी जो भी मेरी प्लेबुक है मीडिया बाइंग की या एड चलाने की, जो मैंने आपको बताई, ये मैंने खुद बना रखी है, बिकॉज मैं करोड़ों रुपए स्पेंड कर चुका हूँ एड्स पे. तो किसी को नहीं पता एल्गो है क्या. यस, अगर आप मेटा के वाइट पेपर्स पढ़ो तो आपको एक बेसिक वो बता देंगे कि भाई ये होता है एल्गो. बट इफ यू आस्क मी, only Zuck will be able to tell you what the algo is.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned on record that, controversial topic that work-life balance is actually, overrated, and
It's a fair topic.
you require. So I believe in the same, because I really don't think so. You can be the top 1% if you have work-life balance, right? And you said that you require imbalance. So I just want your point of view. मेरा point of view तो बड़ा clear है,
हाँ.
right? But जितना भी controversial हो, मेरी thought है कि यार I don't think so you can become 1% if you maintain a work-life balance.
Yeah.
Right. But what's your view on this?
Yeah, I think I don't even know why it's controversial to start with,
Huh,
but
it is
but anyway, I think I like using an analogy for this. Ki, so if you've ever seen a rocket launch live, right? When a rocket launches, like let's say, and it's a huge event like SpaceX or rockets launching, a rocket dispends or lets go of 90% of its fuel
In the
before
first, yeah.
it exits gravity, essentially, right? And once it's in space, now it has exited the gravity, therefore it's chilling. It's on its way to the orbit or wherever it's going, right? Which is the same way to say that if you want to now, in this context, what is pulling most people back from gravity? It's financial independence, it's location freedom, if you want to exit that, you have to give in the 90% in the beginning, which is basically the imbalance. अब रॉकेट भी बोलेगा नहीं भाई मैं 90% क्यों छोड़ूं, मैं अभी 20% छोड़ता हूँ और फिर जब स्पेस पे होऊंगा फिर 20% और फिर जब मैं मून पे होऊंगा फिर 20%, तो भाई वो रॉकेट पहुंचेगा ही नहीं वहां तक. So the point is, you need that imbalance in the beginning if you want to be a rocket, which is the 1%. If you want something which is normal, then sure, man, balance is for you. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with that.
There's
Absolutely.
by the people take me wrong when I say this is the only way to do things. No, if you want balance, if you want a normal life, go do you. Stay happy, and eventually the end goal is you are fulfilled, and that's it. But listen, if you want the good things in life, if you want to take care of your family, if you want to not think of money ever again in your life, then it's a fallacy that you're going to have work life balance and get there. And listen, let's look at the greats, right? Like take any great person from the likes of a Michael Jordan to a Virat Kohli, Cristiano Ronaldo, the musts of the world. I mean, the guy slept on this factory floor, man. Like
For years.
what are you even talking about? It's like, why do you even say that? People, and then I had this debate with a bunch of my students actually in Dubai. It was in and they had some really good points that what if you're you don't spend time with your family and your family feels ignored. ये family वाला point बहुत आया था. Family.
हमेशा आता है.
हाँ, तो family वाला बड़ा point आया था. तो I was like, listen, I personally feel that if I can give it my everything for a few years, for 3, 4, 5 years, whatever that is, and take care of all my family for the rest of their lives, then I think that's a fair trade. And who says that you can't meet family if you're working, right? I always say this, sometimes to grow in life, you don't have to add, you have to subtract. So if you subtract the bullshit time you give to friends that don't deserve your time, or people who don't deserve your time, or like places or parties or whatever it is that don't deserve your time, you give it to your family. So you can have imbalance and give family your time. This notion that because you have imbalance, your family is going to suffer, they're going to be waiting with you with a teary eye, man, that's BS. Come on. Like you can spend time with your family, you can take care of them, and eventually it comes to a point that they don't have to worry about anything. And I think that's the trade I'm willing to take. So imbalance, 100%, like you have to have it. Otherwise, don't want what you want.
How do you think quick commerce will change the game for D2C brands? Because अब तो सब आ रहे हैं in terms of on all what we say Blinkit ho when I say and all these and everyone wants deliveries also in 10-20 minutes today. But how do you think it'll evolve this space? Because it's not so easy to be in quick commerce as well. It's expensive as well.
So India is the only market where quick com has worked, right? It's
Is it
straight.
China?
I don't know about the China stats, but I know most markets, be it the US, and the reason for that is, of course, the people, right? So I don't know. Of course, it's great. We haven't launched in QuickCom, by the way. We will. It's great as a customer. I mean, I am the Blinkit guy. I live alone, by the way. So I live 5 minutes away from my family, but I stay by myself. So I'm the Blinkit guy,
Blinkit
and I order, like, my Blinkit AOV is like 5,000 rupees because I order everything from there, right? I'm not the guy who goes grocery shopping, even though I like it, but I don't have the time, to be very honest. So I love it, right? But at the same time, is it good? Sure. I feel like it's there to stay. I don't think it's going to go anywhere now. अब बिगड़ गए हैं लोग यार.
अब बिगड़ गए हैं.
अब कौन छोड़ने वाला है?
10
अब
मिनट पे आदत पड़ गई है
अब
ना.
तो मैं Blinkit मेरे को दिखाता है 15 मिनट, मैं फिर जाता हूँ Zepto, भाई नहीं 7 मिनट में आ रहा है वो. You know?
अरे that day it happened to me. I was in Bombay and somehow I don't know a blunder I made. I forgot my shirt. I forgot a shirt.
Oh wow. Yes.
Right. I forgot to pack a shirt. I was like, how crazy could this be that I have a meeting and I don't have a shirt? I was like, and I was just chatting with my friend. I was like, what ridiculous place is Bombay, यार. मेरे को अगर दिल्ली में होता तो Blinkit कर देता. I like, oh dude, Blinkit कर देता. तो I opened Blinkit.
हाँ.
I got a shirt.
Wow.
And it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. तो कोई शॉप भी नहीं खुली थी. मैं तो उस एस्पेक्ट से सोच रहा था. And I was like, wow.
A decent shirt.
A decent shirt.
Not bad.
कोट में पहना था. बिल्कुल perfect shirt. And I was like, what?
Yeah. Nice.
मैं कहा ट्राई मारता हूँ शायद मिल जाए शर्ट क्योंकि कभी इससे पहले तो सर्च की नहीं थी.
I'll also give you a very funny example. So, I have a younger brother. I have two brothers. So, one's 21, the one who I took out of college. So, we were sitting one day and we were like, यार बोर हो रहे हैं यार. We used to play FIFA when we were kids. So, he still plays. I don't. So, I was like, man, let's play a game of FIFA. We didn't have PS5 back then. So, he was like, yeah, let's get it. So, he's like, हाँ, Blinkit से मंगा देता हूँ. And I was like, Blinkit से? This is way back, 2 years back, okay? A year back. तो भाई उसने मंगा लिया Blinkit से PS5. Now, this is not the thing. हमने तो मंगा लिया. अगले दिन, someone knocks on my door. I open, it's a Blinkit guy with a PS5. And I just ordered one yesterday. So I was like, भैया किसका है?
हाँ।
कह रहे 105 है ये। मैंने बोला नहीं 106 है। The guy next to me also ordered a PS5 from Blinkit. And I'm like, bro, what the hell?
यार मतलब 50,000 रुपए की चीज
50,000 की चीज भाई
Blinkit में आ
मैंने तो
रही है।
मंगा ली, मैं पागल हूँ, बट साथ मतलब
वो भी
वो भी मंगा रहा है. So that was like, and literally my neighbor ordered a PS5 the next day to me.
पेशेंस नहीं है ना यार, अभी मन कर रहा है,
Yeah.
अब आप Amazon में करोगे तो कल आएगा।
Right. Amazon also started their 8 minute, but they're only doing it for like some items.
Dude, that's like crazy that we have got spoiled to, and you know when people come from abroad, they're like, huh?
Yeah.
How is this possible?
It's crazy. There's this show, I don't know if you know, there's this Tech Roast show. It's a show in the US, and they basically, it's a stand-up comedy show, but for tech people. And they came to India, and someone in the crowd mentioned that they work in Blinkit, and they were like 8 minute delivery. उन्होंने actually live show में किया, and they was zapped कि भाई मतलब जादू है ये तो.
जादू है।
Yeah.
But how does the space look like, a D2C space look like 5 years from now?
I feel 5 years from now, so we'll be sitting in 2031. And I genuinely feel that, and again, the data supports it, that is the peak of the D2C space. We're going to be seeing a lot of, the customers are going to be mature. Everyone, consumption has gone up, right? Like earlier, men used to have what for their skincare routine, it was a sabun ki tikki. Now you have a face wash, a cleanser, a toner, serum, SPF 50. What else is there, man? There are a few other things, right?
Right, the stage routine हो
हाँ
गया।
हाँ 10 stage routine हो गया. अब कुछ और निकल जाएगा कि ये scrubber ले लो. I ordered something which is like a some 9-in-1.
अच्छा,
हाँ 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 उसमें scrub वर्ब सब होता है. Because मैं कौन, I'm also, you know, then there's a under eye cream, then there's a retinol cream, then this that. So and everyone's like हाँ हाँ ये भी चाहिए, ये भी चाहिए, ये भी चाहिए. So I feel like the consumption market is going बढ़ ही रही है भाई. And you name it, like this is in everything. Like for example, I have a thing for fragrances, and I don't mean perfumes, of course perfumes, but if you go to different sections of my house, they smell different. So I have like a diffuser, then I have like this spray which goes automatic spray somewhere. That's just me, but I'm sure they're more like me. The point I'm trying to make is that now we just want more things for everything. So I feel like in the next 5 years, और भी ऐसी चीजें आ जाएंगी जो मे बी जरूरत नहीं है, बट लोग बोलेंगे हाँ हाँ ये भी चाहिए हमें. So I feel like that's when it's going to be peaking, and customers will be more mature, so they'll be harder to bullshit. So all the scammy people, I think, you know, मैंने ये देखा है कि हर 3-4 साल में ना एक क्लीन अप होता है मार्केट का. फॉर एग्जाम्पल अभी there was this a technical है, but in last year or 3-4 months back, there was this Andromeda update on Facebook, which is essentially their ad retrieval engine change. To make it simpler, they changed how ads are delivered, and it wiped out like people till date are struggling with ads. Their ad costs have gone up because now Meta is saying that, hey, listen, I want you to make good ads. Do not screw with me and give me shitty ads because I will not give you good traffic. And it's cleaned the market up. In 2021, there was iOS update. So Apple went on this thing that, okay, I'm not going to share privacy data. And essentially for Facebook to track a sale, Apple has to send that data back to Facebook to track that sale. But then they came up with this thing. So every 3-4 years, there's a cleanup. So I feel in the next 3-4 years, the scammy people are going to go out because people are going to call bullshit and be like, यार ये तो scam है. वो अब already देख के समझ रहे हैं
समझ रहे हैं, हाँ।
कि वेबसाइट कैसे दिखती है. अरे मैं आपको बताता हूँ आरटीओ की प्रॉब्लम कोरियर वाले को पता है. कोरियर वाला हर लोकेलिटी का एक ही होते, दो ही होते हैं जो बार बार आते हैं. उसको अब पता लग गया है कि भाई अगर
कौन कस्टमर बार-बार रिटर्न कर रहा है?
नहीं, उसको ये पता लग गया है कि अगर इस पैकेज के ऊपर पैकिंग लेवल पे जीएसटी मिसिंग है, ईमेल मिसिंग है, फोन मिसिंग है, स्कैमर है.
स्कैमर है फ्रॉम अ
वो आपके पास आएगा, बोलेगा भैया ये मत लो, ये स्कैम है. द डिलीवरी गाय विल टेल यू. बिकॉज गाँवों में क्या होता है ना, एक केस हुआ था कि वो डिलीवरी वाले को मारते हैं, विच इज सैड बिकॉज दे थिंक ही स्कैमिंग देम.
ओ बाप रे बाप!
कि भाई तू ला रहा है ये
तू
गलत
ला रहा है।
प्रोडक्ट. तो उसको पता है भाई कि मेरे मोहल्ले वाले मेरे को मारेंगे,
पहले
पहले
बता
बता दूं कि भाई ये स्कैम है. तो वर्सेस ए ब्रांडेड पैकेजिंग, different color, not that typical, you
Yeah,
know, and then
And
that
all
guy knows
details
that this is a brand, and he will now make sure he delivers it. You know what I mean? So the patterns are already coming out. and all these guys are going to get cleaned up very soon. And I want that. Like, I'm a huge campaigner for, because it makes us look bad, man.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the market should be that. And तुम बेचारे लोगों के पैसे खा रहे हो, ये
हाँ.
सब हो रहे हो, this should go.
Yeah. So that's why, like, again, your question was valid, but the black tainted image of, let's say, dropshipping is because of guys like this. So the 10-20% people who are doing a good job and earning a
They also
honest
get
living,
tainted.
they get tainted because it's a blanket approach.
So tell me one thing. There are a lot of Gen Z who will be watching this, who wants to get into the D2C brand. I think so. ये Shark Tank के बाद एक D2C का भी bump भी आया. Everyone wants to get into the D2C brand thing and go to Shark Tank. What are, I mean, you've spoken on bits everywhere a little bit. I just want to understand what are, let's say, the 3 real skill sets which someone needs to invest their time on so that they can aspire to be someone like you who's been successful in this game.
Okay, so I think the first one would be self-learning. I think that's helped me a lot. Most of the education right now is outdated, so you can't bank on that. I'm not saying quit your uni, like I'm made my brother do it, but at the same time, you have to harness this habit of self-learning, right? That, okay, here's what I need to do, and I need to learn it myself. Now, this is a skill. This is genuinely a skill, because you could feel lost. Where do I go? What do I learn? But if you harness the skill, then any topic you want to learn, you're not dependent. You can just do it yourself, right? I think the second thing is, of course, it's a no-brainer. We've spoken about it, but you have to be um, pro AI. You have to understand AI. It might sound overwhelming and for you in the beginning, but essentially you have to dive deep. Like, I would say, block a weekend. You know, like how you would block a weekend for Goa. Block a weekend and do AI run through, where you start simply from how to use Claude, how to use ChatGPT, how can I then leverage these tools. And I would say, as Gen Z, go after the low hanging fruit in the beginning. I'm a huge believer of the fact that when you have cash, you can build with less tension. I feel like when you're trying to build something and you have so much going on in the workspace, and at the same time you have to worry about making rent, how is that entrepreneur supposed to function? Like, I've been privileged enough to have both models where I've made cash and now I'm building something. And I think it just helps me. Otherwise, you're just, haggard. Like, you're like, I have to make rent, I have to pay my bills. And then in the workspace, you have to deal with all the other things. So go for low hanging fruit. I would say offer your AI services. Now, that could be creatives, it could be video editing, it could be essentially anything. Like, let's say you're a business owner. Kevin O'Leary, who's the OG Shark, said this, that he used to pay kids $40,000 a year for running ads and doing creatives. Now he pays them upward of 400 grand. Because guess what? Kevin and Larry doesn't know how to do that. He must be a multi-millionaire, but he doesn't know what you know. So get the AI stack for yourself. Learn how to make creatives, learn how to run ads, learn how to build websites, and go to people like yourself and be like, hey, here are my services. I charge this much. And that's low hanging fruit. What that gets you is cash, right? It gives you leverage. And then you can build bigger things and go for the bigger plays. But eventually, I think, sort your cash out. Stop asking your parents for money. Not from a place of they won't give it to you, but just to feel more independent, I feel, right? Because I think when you start earning money in a young age, it just gives you a lot of confidence and you come out different, man. Like, a 20-year-old making his own money and not asking for money at home is a different guy. Like, you will not miss him in a crowd. And I think he evolves as a person. So by the time he's 25, he's not 25. He's almost like a 35-year-old guy, versus the 25-year-olds are still kids. So you get this advantage. And the last thing I think is, cut the noise, right? Instagram has a lot of flashiness around you. And it's very normal to look at people and the life they're living in Dubai or Miami, or even right here in, Gurgaon or Delhi, wherever, or Mumbai, and feel like, I don't have this. Why is my life so shit? Or why have I been born in a poor household, or a poorer household, right? In context, because again, it's the analogy of the Lamborghini and the thing.
Yeah.
You could be living in a gated society.
Still
You'll
good.
drive, you drive a Mercedes, but you still feel like, So I think, cut the noise. Don't be influenced by people. If at all you want to be influenced, take it as motivation, and like, have blinders on. You see the horse during the race, he has blinders on. And I'm not saying have blinders on forever. What you have to understand is that early mover advantage is a thing in life. Just like in a business, if I launch it first, now, was Facebook the first launched social media platform? No. right? It was probably by the way, it was the 8th social media platform.
Was it 8?
Yeah, people don't know. It was the 8th.
Yeah.
There was Orkut, High
High
Five,
Five,
blah, blah, blah.
yeah,
They all
yeah.
failed. But they had an advantage. They could make something of it. That's another thing. But are you trying to tell me they didn't have an advantage? Of course they did. So early mover advantage, life में भी होता है. If you start early, and if you, and I was telling my younger brother the other thing, man, and this is my take. Enjoying money when you're young is different. I mean, that's just my take, okay? If you make money, you can do things at 25, you can travel the world, you don't have too many responsibilities. Hopefully, you're not married, right? I'm also a person who says, again, this is my take, man, leave that, like build yourself, become something. Because I feel like most people get married into this societal pressure of FOMO in these days. कि यार मेरे को लहंगा पहना है इसलिए मेरे को शादी करनी है, right? But that's not how it is, man. Like, I feel like you first need to know, like, I could say right now, I've been living alone for 2-3 years now. And I understand myself now, okay? So I can think of getting married, for example. Most people don't even know themselves. And then you're telling me, आप खुद को नहीं जानते और आप अब ये चाहते हो कि now I'm supposed to spend my time with someone else. That's why divorce rates, again, data is skyrocketing. You know what I mean? And there's a reason for that. But we digressed. You talk about, but again, this is Gen Z advice too. Like, don't get married early. Build yourself. Enjoy your money early. Become a great, woman, man. Be independent, and essentially cut the noise. Have the blind. Like I was saying, have the blinders on for 2, 3, 4 years, because जो ये 2-3 साल शुरू के हैं, this is rocket fuel, man. Like, those 4 years at 40 or even 30 are not the same at 20. Like, let's be very honest, right? Like, I'm not in my 20s either, but like, I'm just trying to say. So make the most of that, and cut the noise for 2, 3 years. Yes, you'll miss that party. You'll miss that Circo Loco event in Mumbai, or some artist, or some festival in Goa. But in life, you'll win.
Okay, I have few rapid fire questions for you.
Okay.
A book every entrepreneur must read.
I mean, I'm not a big reader, but Think and Grow Rich, I think that would be mine.
Smartest entrepreneur you look up to.
Travis Kalanick, co-founder of Uber.
Have you seen the movie?
Of course. I love him.
Awesome, the TV series.
We also share the same birthday, 6th August, so I love him.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love the movie, by the way.
Yeah.
If you could use one marketing channel only, what would it be? Obviously, अब तो पता चल गया कि मैं-
Yeah.
one product category you'll never sell.
One product category I'd never sell. I think like vapes or something. Like, yeah.
Most overrated e-com tool.
Over ecom tool. I don't know if I can say it, man. Like, I get brandies and everything. Sorry.
One thing you do which you think gives you the real edge.
Just try to push a wall every time. It's just the grit. Yeah.
One closing question. If, today someone comes to you with limited money, maybe just a laptop, Wi-Fi, and says that, give me a roadmap that I want to become a 100 crore company in 5 years, how would that be?
So I feel like we touched on this before, that the chances of failure, and that's the law of the jungle, is high when most startups fail, right? Most businesses fail, and 100 crore startups is a huge deal.
Mm.
So as an entrepreneur, I think now looking back, you have to increase your chances of success. Now, how do you do that? Again, this is my personal bias too, that how we say, like, put your foot in the pond to judge the temperature before you dive deep. Now, diving deep is me getting a lot of stock, going for a brand, having no clue of how to run things, and then I'm 50 lakhs in the hole and I have to quit. Versus, let me put my foot in the pond, and that is essentially testing through a low budget model like dropshipping, which is, just test the waters. Even if you fail, you lose a lakh or two, and then you can try again. Do that for a bit, understand the game. It's like your practice Ranji matches, and then you go play the IPL or for the Indian cricket team, right? Whereas if you go play for the Indian cricket team, you have some 150 kilometer per hour bowler who's going to clean bowl you. So increase your chances of success by learning the craft in the beginning, and then you step onto the main arena. For example, I have been doing dropshipping since 7-8 years, and I started my brand last year. So it's like preparing for the Olympics for 4 years, and now I'm playing my Olympics, and hopefully I win the gold medal. It's not for sure, but my chances have increased because I've been running the track for the last 4-5 years. Some people will think कि यार इसमें तो टाइम लगेगा. हाँ भाई, टाइम लगता है. 100 करोड़ की कंपनी बना रहे हो तो टाइम तो लगेगा.
YouTube video तो है नहीं,
हाँ,
क्या
YouTube
तो
तो है
नहीं.
So that would be my take. not to say that some people can just start and also build it. Of course, I think majority of people have actually done that. My route has been different. But we see the top 50 entrepreneurs or founders or 100 founders who've done well, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. What about the thousands of people who failed doing that?
It's like funding, na? हम देखते हैं, but only 1 in thousands of people get.
Yeah, so I feel like the chances increase करने में तभी होगा when you've played the game, you've practiced, और फिर आप match खेलने जाओ, and that's what will hopefully make you a 100 crore brand someday.
One last thing, we have something called the guest relay. So the previous guest leaves a question for you,
Okay.
which I've also not seen,
Okay.
right? Without even knowing who the next guest is. So you will do the same, obviously, for the next guest.
Oh, it's a long question.
Do you like mangoes? Tell us your favorite mango story.
I like mango. Sure, my favorite mango story was when I went to Thailand the first time and they served mango with sticky rice.
That's a very famous dish, right?
Yeah. So they serve it, and it was surprisingly good. I mean, I didn't expect it to have a palate. for
मैंने
that.
इसलिए नहीं आज तक टेस्ट की क्योंकि मुझे लगता है it'll be so bad.
It's not that bad, you know.
You know, I have not tasted just because I like who's going to eat mango with rice.
Yeah, even I thought that, but it was like it was everywhere. And I was like, I do like trying new things, so I was like, ठीक है, देख लेते हैं, how bad can it be? I'll spit it out. But I mean, so yeah, I think that would be my mango story.
Great shit.
But-
Thanks.
Interesting, interesting question.
But no, thanks, Ishant. Really nice speaking to you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much for being here.
Likewise, thank you.
Thank you.